Hello everyone, my name is Moon and welcome back for more Tsukihime, a piece of blue glass moon. So last episode continued the battle, but it was actually very unexpected because Shiki and Roa are pretty much working together just because Roa is gonna benefit from it, right, if Shiki survives. But anyways, let us continue. Let's see what happens today. Okay, we gotta choose. Let me choose this one. Can't give up now. I can't give up that easily. Getting this close took 70% of my energy and blood. If I let this chance pass, I might never get another. Odds are this is my one and only shot. However hopeless things seem, I can't just squander it. Attacking the forearm failed, but what about the joint? If I cut off Arcoade's motor functions rather than cut her skin, maybe I can force her to let go of CL. Holding my knife between my teeth, I scramble up the glaring white slope of her arm on all fours. The lumina's surface is warm, though not so hot that it burns, and tangible enough to climb. Despite appearances, it's firmly corporeal. From a distance, she seemed more a statue than a living creature, but I get a different impression now that I'm close enough to touch her. Her skin feels at once like solid rock in flowing water. It's firm but not like a boulder, it's smoother and more pleasant to touch. I could almost believe it was fine porcelain. Arcoade arms shift beneath my feet. She's still a living creature even if she doesn't know I'm here. My foothold is subject to her natural rhythms. If she happened to sneeze, unlikely as it is, she'd probably launch me over the horizon. At least I hope it's unlikely. There's no accounting for the Arcoade factor. Knowing her, she'd fall flat on her face just to spite me. Better get a move on before I start tempting fate.
Yosh.
I make it safely to my destination. I grab my knife from my mouth and grip it in both hands. Her skin glitters under me like freshly fallen snow. I drive my weapons down straight into where the elbow joint would be on a human body. But it doesn't pierce the skin, it broke his knife. Where I expect my knife to bite deep, it snapped at the hilt. The blade spins away, plummeting down towards the ground.
肘なら脆いはずなんて笑わせないで。どこだろうと肌の硬さは同じものでしょ。そんなこともわからなかったの？お疲れ様。いろいろとバカなことを考えていたようだけど、何もかも無駄だったのね。人の肌の上を這い回って楽しい
Arcoade's thoughts force their way into my mind. Even as a mere human with no talent for telepathy, the overwhelming pressure of her consciousness leaves me no choice but to understand.
吐息で吹き飛ばしてあげましょうか。それともちょっと腕をひねって私の足元まで落下してみる？
What is this? It's like she's trapped my mind in a vice with words alone. CL is not only being tortured physically but mentally too.
シエルシエルシエル。他に考えることはないのかしら。人の心配をしていられる状況。
I can't tell if it's a mockery or anger suffusing her thoughts. Either way, as long as I'm on her body, I am at her mercy. Now that she's noticed me, I have to get some distance.
させない。
Abruptly, I stop. My brain is still firing. My muscles are still working, but my body is stuck in place. I strain with all my might to move my limbs, but some opposing force pushes back harder.
ここまで来て逃げられると思ったの？私の視界に入らないうちは見逃していただけよ、おちびさん。
Roa warned me about this. Stay out of the luminous sight, he said. One glance is all she needs to seize control of you. This must be what he meant. Now I'm pinned to thin air, unable to either run or fight back.
ああ、そっか。目に見えるものでないとわからないんだっけ。それならちゃんと私の指で触ってあげる。当方あいにくランドマークですので、繊細な力加減もお客様への気遣いもいたしませんが。
Something colossal emerges overhead. Something massive as a crushing zeppelin. Heavy as toppling as a greatwood, and inescapable as the descending veil of night. Before I can even process it as an enormous hand,
私が巨人なんじゃないわ。あなたたちが小さいのよ。未だに重力に縛られた生命圏。星の上っ面にあるだけの文明圏。ここで根こそぎしまってあげる。でもあなたは別。私の棚には入れてあげない。だってまっすぐに本気で歯向かってきたんだもの。自分の小ささも把握できないところは可愛いけど、虫のように低能ならそういうものとして扱ってもいいわよね。
the giant's hand descends implacably. Faced with such overwhelming might, I can't even feel fear. Despair overcomes me, inviting me to kneel. But before I even get the chance, 4 fingers of pure light, soft yet hard, crush me hungrily in a bloody pulp. Bad end. We lost. Yes, obviously. Look at that.
うわ、さすがに冗談を挟める状況ではありませんね。ここからは遊びなし、迅速な Q&A を行いましょう。いいですね、そこの猫型生物。
さあ、イエスサー、了解であります、ティーチャー。あのヒロインにあるまじき大暴走、いくら美少女でも見過ごせねえ。私への風評被害も鑑みて全力でなかったことにしてやるぜ。
はい、 あなたへの被害は皆無とは思いますが、そのスピード感で黙っていてくださいね。今回は二択死亡のデッドエンドです。速やかに直前の選択肢からリトライしていただければ。一刻も早く囚われの先輩を助けたいという気持ちは大変嬉しいのですが、ここは冷静に。あんな反則級のアルクエイドを正面から相手にしてはいけません。交代は一手間違えれば即デッドな存在です。ともかく自分の命優先でお願いします。何やってるんですかあなた。
そうか、猫とはスピードとはあんまり意味のない Q&A コーナーとは。これが猫交代決勝だ。
Okay, that was the ending there. The bad end, I mean. Let's choose this other one then. I have to run now. My initiative lost, I can't waste a second. Arcuade quite literally has me in the palm of her hand. I've got better things to do than stick to an approach that isn't working.
Senpai!
I give up on severing the Titan's arm, but I'm not giving up on freeing the girl I love.
先輩、情けなくてごめん。でも助ける。今助けるから。
そうのか。
I am at no risk of falling. With my heightened sense of balance, it wouldn't matter if I were perched on a tightrope.
サム、逃げて、早く逃げて。
分かってます。すぐに先輩を連れて逃げる。
With no lines to guide me, I drive my knife in blindly. Such wanton brutality would have shocked me once. But although the blow would have cut through steel, it doesn't leave a mark on the fingers that hold CL.
どうして？
I stab over and over again like a madman. My knife grows slick with my own blood. The coating hones its edges and reinforces its blade. The intuitive command of my vampiric powers sparks no particular feeling in me. My mind is preoccupied with other things, frustration at my own impotence, the overwhelming might of the foe I'm facing, CL's face twisted in pain as a crushing force relentlessly presses down on her abdomen. I cling to the giant's finger, stabbing away like a machine, conscious of the futility of it but not knowing what else to do.
今のアルカイドに干渉は無意味です。私に構わず早くこの町の外に。
Through mouthfuls of her own blood, CL tells me to run. Seeing the state she's in kicks my mind up another gear. And the air thumps. Fear holds me in place like a vice.
驚いた。くだらないゴミがぶつかったと思えば。
An impossibly large crimson eye regards me disinterestedly from above. My overclocked brain abruptly crashes. I can't blink, I can't breathe. A single look was all it took. Under the weight of her gaze, I forget I'm even human. I'm utterly helpless. Helpless to free CL. Helpless to save myself. Helpless to resist her. The closer to Lumina, the more severe the winds. Not much I already knew, so I should have expected this. A whirling maelstrom powerful enough to obliterate a tanker truck descends on me, intent on devouring the vermin that offended its master. My lungs remain frozen, my legs refuse to move. CL is, thank goodness. Arcuade's hand will shield her from the tornado. Only I will pay the price of my own foolishness. They say that death is a peaceful one once you accept it. Perhaps this is what they mean. Still paralyzed from the terror of her gaze, I am cast into the air like a leaf in a gale. Scared on the white wind, I spiral down to earth. My brain can't even process which way is up, never mind how I should brace for impact. If I hadn't been so blind to how hard I was pushing myself, I might have seen this coming. 2 days ago, a light jog would have had me out of breath. What was I thinking, blasting through 100 meters in mere seconds, jumping up buildings, throwing myself at giants, shredding and bending every muscle in my body over and over again, boosting my metabolisms to hundreds of times its ordinary rate, forcing the burden of all that natural healing onto my brain. I have exhausted every last drop of power I can muster. My body, my mind, my plans, they are all spent. A voice seems to whisper in my ear. You've done enough, it says. Even God couldn't untangle or untangle this mess. What a hope do you have? But is that really true? Another voice whispers in my heart, you can't give up yet. You have the tools you need at hand. You were right to try to defeat her. You were only wrong in your approach. I breathe out long and slow, exhaling my exhaustion. It isn't enough to revive my worn-out nervous system. But it is enough to persuade my eyes to open. My heart is beating, my legs are still attached. Blood flows through my fingers when I clench them. So, I'm still alive. Fortunately, I managed to avoid getting sucked up by that cyclone. Doubly fortunately, I'm still in one piece, especially given how far I fell.
比較的柔らかい地面だ。いいところに落とされたな。
お前。
I don't have it in me to ask why she's still here. Battered inside and out, I can't muster any venom towards him, or Arcuade for that matter.
ここは地面か。
I stand up shakily. I feel like a ghost picking myself up because that's all I remember how to do. In that moment, when I see what lies before me, I learn the true meaning of despair. I choke out a gasp as its sheer enormity. We're suddenly in the forest now? This sight, I know it. I know it all too well. It reminds me of landscapes I've only seen in photographs. The jungles of South America are closer to home, the forest of Yakushima. Before its immense scale, I feel pathetically tiny. No, I'd be wrong to liken this vision to the Amazon. My human mind wants to believe I'm looking at trees. But these aren't trees, they're roots. Roots like those of a delicate flower one might inadvertently crush underfoot. Grown to monstrous proportions, roots that now envelop the earth. The true form of the enemy Ro and I dare to pose comes into view, and with seeing comes understanding. Of course, she stands like a giant over us. Of course, humans are mere insects to her. I feel it in the unnatural heat and humidity. I see it in the stifling press of primordial colors. In the veil of abundant greenery draped over the world. In the thinness of the oxygen and the lethal concentration of toxic gases. This is nature, red in tooth and claw, sneering at a human ingenuity. What I'm standing in is no city, not anymore. Nor is it the overgrown ruins of a civilization. It is a world far more ancient. This is the Earth in its primal days, hundreds of millions of years before humanity ever drew its first breath.
そうだ。これが惑星の霊長に知的生命体を設定しなかった場合の地球本来の植物の尺度だ。神祖にとって外敵への対応はこのようなもの。人間を排除する必要も衰退させる必要もない。彼女はただ周りを強くすることで相対的に文明を矮小化させている。
My heart all but gives out a horrifying reality. It's my body, not my mind, that surrenders first. Now I know the true scale of what I face. Now I see any challenge made was sinful. Let me rest, my body pleads. It isn't enough that you got so close. Making my way to CL, I took everything I had. Now I've fallen into a landscape out of myth. Without so much as scratching Arcuade. With no way of getting back up into the fight.
生きてる？それとも粉々に吹き飛ばしちゃった？
I look up at the source of the cacophony in my skull. Beyond the roots arrayed to put mankind in its place. A luminous figure looks down imperiously.
なんだ、ちゃんとそこにいるじゃない。ごめんなさい、小さすぎて見失っちゃった。
The Titan still holds CL in her grasp. She plucks at her body pointedly for my benefit, no doubt.
今まで気づいていなかったけど、これからは気をつけるわ。もっとも、もう歯向かう気持ちもないでしょうけど。
I'm amazed to feel a fire light in my flagging heart. I didn't think I had it in me. Wanting to free CL is a part of it for sure. But more than that, Arcuade's bold-faced taunting has me seeing red.
お前本当に頭悪いな。
How long is she gonna try and keep up this charade?
はあ？意識なんてしていなかったんですけど。ぴょんぴょん飛び跳ねるだけの小虫よりこっちのおもちゃをいじった方が楽しいでしょ。
マジか。
I didn't speak that question out loud. She must have literally read my mind, as if that giant lava lamp of a body weren't overpowered enough. She can hear my goddamn thoughts. Though I'd have been none the wiser if she'd kept her mouth shut to reveal her powers just to trade insults is exactly the kind of bird brain move I'd expect from her actually.
何よりもむごく殺されたいようね、あなた。本当に気乗りはしないけど、口の減らない人間に身の程を教えてあげる。
The ground shudders beneath my feet. I can feel the world itself snarling at me in hostility as it did to CL.
似た者同士の見苦しい泥の投げ合いは終わったかね。
Damn right we are. I'm so pissed off now that I've found the courage for one more try. The world is a hellish gauntlet of primal flora. The rooftops are the domain of an all-seeing titan. I still don't have a clear idea of what the Lumina is. Okay, we gotta save here first. Save. Save. Okay, where? I'm gonna choose... Go back up. That is gonna sure end up badly. Yeah, we'll try this. Who knows, right? Staying here is just going to sap my strength. I can't help CL from down by Arcuade's ankles. I have to go back up. There must be something I've missed. Once I have that missing piece, I can figure this out. First, I've got to get out of this jungle of roots. I'll climb up them and find a small building to jump to. Then the real challenge will begin. There's a magical energy contained in my blood. My vampiric traits dwindle when I expand it, but it replenishes a little each time it circulates through my heart.
よし。
Slowly minimizing my blood expenditure, I scale the roots. Once I'm out, I can find a way up to the rooftops. Then, like before, I'll sneak behind the Lumina and... He got caught already. What the hell? Why am I floating?
呆れた。自分から姿を見せるなんて。人間ってもう少し頭のいい生き物だと思っていたけど。
An invisible force lifts me into air. I briefly wonder if I've been caught in a wind current, but no. Arcuade is picking me up with telekinesis. I should have known better. She no longer has any blind spots to exploit. I only managed to sneak up on her in the first place because she was intentionally ignoring me. But now I've provoked her into fighting for real. Without the ground level cover of a megaflora, I have nothing to shield me from her eyes. No, it's worse than that. I've thrown myself into her lap. Sticking my head out right at her feet, I might as well have been asking to get squashed.
高い高い。
I flail about, trying to resist. But still, I rise higher as inexorably as if I were being hoisted up by a crane. Higher than the rooftops I was hoping to reach. Higher and higher into the sky until I'm so high that there's no way down. Her gigantic figure floods my brain with errors. She's so impossibly large, yet so familiar in form that my perspective is shattered. Is she gargantuan or am I minuscule? Is she the abnormality or is it me? Are these shudders of fear running through me? Or thrills of ecstasy at her beauty? My senses, my ability to perceive the world are completely paralyzed. I only know one thing for certain.
そう、もう絶対に逃げられないということよ。
She won't ever let me defy her again. Crucified in mid-air, I'm helpless to resist as her claws of wind swing lazily towards me.
そういえば、さっきのお返しがまだだった。遠慮しないで。私と式の仲だもの。全然聞かなかったけど、ナイフを突き立てられたのは事実だし。ランドマークだの、デカ物だの、失礼な表現をされたことだし。これくらいはそのちっぽけな体であがなってもらわないとね。
Once, twice, 3 times, more like a cat with a mouse. My limbs are far sturdier than a normal human's, but she snaps them like twigs. Shrieks slip through my gritted teeth. If I can feel pain, it means my nerves are still connected. Even pinned in mid-air like this, I can still try to minimize the damage. Though I know it's not much, I tense my muscles every time she swings, hoping to at least keep my body in one piece. My strength dissolves, my will to resist her evaporates. She's on a different scale to anything else I've faced. An opponent without weakness. For the first time, I truly know the crushing despair of being at the mercy of an irresistible force.
さっきまではちゃんと避けていたのに、どうしたの？ピンで撃たれた標本になっちゃった？ああ、そっか。私が捕まえてるんだっけ？
The force keeping me in place suddenly relaxes. Released from its hold, I plummet towards the ground. I crash land on a pale, glowing surface. My limbless torso is helpless to soften my fall. My internal functions are in too much shock to scream, but at least I'm better off than I was. I've gone from an elevation of 80 meters to 50 for all the good that does me. I have to run. I have to get out of here. As hopeless as it is, I have to try. I squirm around the Titan's palm on my stomach. No dice. The luminous platform seems so much bigger now than the last time I was here.
ごめんなさい。つい落としちゃった。この体、まだ慣れてなくて。ま、時間はあるし、ゆっくり調整すればいいか。
The white earth dips in at its center like a bowl. The sides rise to cage me in. Though I'm standing on solid ground, I feel adrift in a raging sea. So minuscule am I, the faint curves of her flesh are enough to impede me. I can't see a thing even with my eyes open. My world is white from the horizon to horizon. I feel the warmth of her body on every inch of my skin. I feel her breath hot enough to boil my brain. My sense only seems to sharpen even as my body grows numb. I can't take this anymore, it's just too much. My mind keeps losing track of what I'm doing, why I'm fighting. How can I get out? How can I break free? I don't know, I feel nothing but a single emotion towards a single being. I know nothing but this white world of torment. It's getting hotter. And hotter. And hotter. It's not just my body heat, it's not just my breathing. I'm melting, becoming one with the matter around me. The harder I struggle, the weaker I grow. The further I flee, the harder it gets to breathe. I am barely more than a corpse now. I shouldn't be able to move at all. But my body and my heart refuse to die. So I writhe in the desert of her palm. It's so hot. My struggles are fueled not by pain or even despair, but by this mysterious heat. She stares at me as I squirm.
もう絶対に私から触ってなんかやるもんかって思ったけど我慢できなくなっちゃった。もう私のものなんだし、何をしたって構わないわよね。
The Titan's index finger rises like a towering pillar. And slow, grindingly, crushes the maggot wriggling on her palm. Breathe bursts from my throat in wordless gasp. Just before it liquefies my flesh, shatters my bones and grinds me into a human paste, the finger recedes. The worst part is, even after being squashed flat, the creature known as Shikitano clings pathetically to life. I see. Being in physical contact with the Lumina replenishes my magical energy. Whether I want it or not, my blood drinks in the power she exudes, repairing my battered body. And as a result,
あなたが吸血鬼になって一つだけいいこと見つけちゃった。じっくりと遊べること。可愛いものをいじるのは少しだけ楽しいわ。
no matter what she does to me, no matter how thoroughly she breaks me, not even death will provide an escape. I am trapped in a 5-finger prison. And so I fight for the breath in an ocean of blood, endlessly sustained by the false hope she dangles before my eyes. Bad end. Tsushiki was just dying there. It took like 10 minutes to die. Oh my god. Come on. Oh, it's gone, the big one. Teach me, Miss CL.
こんにちは。教えてシエル先生。代理のエコアルクです。本来なら私が出てくるエンドではないのですが、シエル先生も猫も吹き飛んでしまったので、今回のエンドも直前からやり直せばいい即死系2択です。あの現象は1秒でも早く終わらせたいので、このコーナーはスキップして本編に戻ってください。
Dude, Echo Arc is literally telling us, yeah, just go back and play it.
Skip しないのですね。このコーナーも今回で最後ですから、少しだけサービスします。あれが交代。この街に現れたアルクエイドが暴走した姿です。交代は惑星初期化のシステムですが、これはもうそう呼べません。振られたから暴走するとか、ただの恋愛怪獣ですよね。まったくも。言葉が乱れました。忘れてください。全長ですが、システム発生時は200メートル級。権限時はまだ安定していないので、見た目の規模が大きい代わり、当たり判定がありません。ビルをすり抜けて膨れ上がっているのも、そのためです。安定時になると、全長は100メートル級で固定。これは周囲の文明レベルに合わせてのものです。体積、体重は計測できません。こうなると質量を伴っていますが、抗体は地球の生命力が形になったもの。強いて言うなら、地球の質量が体重でしょうか。なので地球上ではどんなアクションをしようと、地球にとっては重くないので、地形には重さによるダメージはかからない。となります。地面は陥没しません。ただし、人工物はその限りではありません。ちなみに千年城が消滅したのは、彼女の空想具現化のランクが下がったためです。交代状態の審査では、空想具現化は大雑把なものしかできません。出力が大きくなった分、きめ細やかな空想を構築できなくなったのです。交代状態の彼女にできることは、 超広範囲の魔眼と、自身に向けられる攻撃をキャンセルする空想無料化と、地熱操作、大気操作といったものになります。要は自然の脅威です。これを意識的に思考性のものとして使っていた普段の彼女と、無意識に反応として使うことしかできない今の彼女。どちらが生命として優れているかは、あなたの思考でご判断いただければ。とはいえ、このバッドエンドの彼女は、私の知る交代ではありません。システムでありながら自己を、感情を優先する兆しを見せています。その上で暴走による自己崩壊はせず、新しい器に変化している。システムだったものが個になるとき、どのような無理が生じるか、私にはわかりません。デッドエンド、バッドエンドと、たくさんのエンドを見てきましたが、これは一つのワールドエンド。ある意味、最悪のエンドでしょう。ですので彼女に気遣いは無用です。容赦なく、徹底的に。分不相応の夢ごと粉々に打ち壊すような、そんな反撃を、あなたに期待します。それでは、またいつか、あるはずのない夢の中で。
We literally got the worst ender. I mean, we got 2 bad ends, right? But I guess that's the last one for the bad endings. But we will see. I mean, for me personally, sometimes like when they're doing the dialogue and stuff, like for example, they were killing Shiki there, right? Like it was taking too long. You have like a lot of dialogue is what I'm saying sometimes. That's why the game is like this route, I mean, is very long. Like you don't need that excess stuff. Like you can just go like straight to what is happening. Like they had a lot of dialogue and then they said later that, oh, the Lumina, it's actually helping me. It's actually healing me or whatever. But I see. I mean, I guess right? Anyways, we'll see what happens. We're gonna continue this and do more of Tsukihime, A Piece of Blue Glass Moon, in the next one. So I'll just see you then. Bye bye.